my name is Isabella Perez, Recreation Leader for the City of Socorro. Thank you for joining today's meeting. Before the meeting begins, we would like to remind our guests to remove all hats and silence all electronic devices. No destructive behavior or outbursts will be tolerated, and violators are subject to ejection and possible prosecution.
Hola, mi nombre es Judy Rodríguez, secretaria de Planificación de la Ciudad de Socorro. Gracias por participar en la reunión de hoy. Antes de que comience la reunión, nos gustaría recordarles a nuestros invitados favor de quitarse los sombreros y silenciar todos los dispositivos electrónicos. No se tolerará ningún comportamiento perturbador ni exabrupto y los infractores estarán sujetos a expulsión y posible procesamiento.
We're good now? All right. Well, first and foremost, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year and welcome back, staff and council. We're ready for another year to work for our residents of Socorro. And I also want to ask that you all forgive me for my attire today. I'm usually dressed a little bit better, but I'm coming back from the ranch and I just barely made it to the meeting. And I wanted to do something different for the start of the year. So before we proceed with today's agenda, I'd like to acknowledge the challenges and the concerns facing our society at this time. These matters affect our community and the decisions that we are called to make. So in recognition of this, I would like to respectfully invite us to begin with a moment of prayer so that we may seek wisdom, clarity, and guidance as we carry out our responsibilities. And with us today, I have a couple of pastors that operate within the community here. Pastors, if you don't mind, you can come up to the podium and the microphone, and you can go ahead and lead us in invocation. And you all can choose whatever is comfortable for you all. If you like to stand or you like to sit, and just join us in this moment of prayer.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and members of our community. My name is Pastor Lidia Torres, and together with my husband, Pastor Raimundo Torres, we at Pianiel Ministry serve here in our city. Also, we are joined by other city and regional pastors. We are grateful for the opportunity to stand before you today as servants of God and servants of this community. As we begin this new year, we humbly come to place our city, its leaders, its families, and its future into God's hands. We do so with hearts of gratitude, seeking wisdom, protection, and peace for all who live and serve here. I would like to read Psalm 121, and the word of God says, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from where shall my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will protect you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will guard your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forever. Amen.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I would like to do a prayer in Spanish. My name is Pastor Torres from Peniel. Dios eterno y misericordioso, hoy ponemos en tus manos la ciudad de Socorro, sus autoridades, sus servicios públicos, nuestras fuerzas de orden. Te pedimos, Padre, que cuides a cada policía, a cada oficial, Señor, en su trabajo, en su labor. Cuídalos de cualquier mal y protégeles, Señor. Te pedimos especialmente por nuestro mayor Rudy Cruz y por el Cabildo de Socorro. Concédeles sabiduría, discernimiento y un corazón justo para tomar decisiones que honren el bienestar de nuestra comunidad. Bendice y protege dirige cada paso que den, guarda sus pensamientos y permite que gobiernen con sabiduría y integridad, compasión y visión. Cubre nuestra ciudad con tu protección. Guarda nuestros niños, nuestras familias, nuestros hogares, que hagan hogares unidos, Señor. Y declaramos, Padre, puertas abiertas para esta ciudad. En tu nombre santo. Amén.
Amen. Before I continue, and I'm going to share the mic with my pastor, Ivan here, David. I want to thank the city mayor and the councilmen and deputies and everybody that's here in this particular room. It is very important for us not only to unite in efforts with everything that's going on as far as solidarity, but ask God to support and provide that protection for those who are either being confronted with violence or, you know, just the disparity that goes around within the community. So I'm going to ask Mayor, if you allow us, just to continue on with praying for you and the body in itself. And I'm going to ask Pastor Ivan before I turn the mic for him to close in prayer. And this is the prayer that I ask for each and every one of you, that God will be only the provider for each and every one of your homes. For the city of Socorro not only can become a beacon of light of what is righteousness, but that people can say that when the righteous govern, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in front, the people mourn. I believe wholeheartedly that the righteousness of God is going to be amongst you, city mayor, and all of your leadership, management, every single area in this particular Socorro. This blessing do we bring, not because we're closer to God or even because we have that connection, but beyond that, we believe that God has a purpose. So I'm going to ask Pastor Ivan to close us in prayer, and I want you to understand that we are here not only to bless, amen, we can bless in and out, but we are here to serve. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your servant's heart for this community. Amen. Go ahead, Pastor.
Oramos. Bendito Padre Celestial, Padre bueno, te damos gracias, Jehová Dios, por esta oportunidad, Padre. En tus manos, Padre, ponemos la ciudad de Socorro, Jehová Dios, y a todos sus gobernantes, Padre Santo, al Cabildo, Jehová Dios, a todos los que están al frente, Padre, de la ciudad, Jehová Dios. Que nosotros, Padre, como parte de la ciudad, Padre, parte de la comunidad, Padre, que nos ayudes, Jehová Dios, a ayudar, Padre Santo, que nos ayudes, Padre, a poder ser, Padre, para ellos, Jehová Dios. Que nos ayudes, Padre Santo, a hacer piezas importantes, Padre Santo, piezas, Padre Santo, que podamos ayudar, Padre, a seguir adelante, Padre, con el trabajo en la comunidad, Padre. En esta hora, Padre, ponemos todo, Padre, esta comunidad en tus manos, Jehová Dios, que seas tú, Padre, en medio de nosotros, Padre, desde el más pequeño, Padre, hasta el más grande, Padre Santo, en esta comunidad, Padre. Que podamos vernos, Padre, como una familia, Padre Santo, que podamos ayudarnos los unos a los otros, Padre, y que sobre todas las cosas, Padre, te busquemos a ti, Jehová Dios. En esta hora te damos gracias, Padre, por todas las cosas, Señor, que nos has dado, que nos das y que nos darás. En el nombre de tu Hijo amado Jesucristo, a quien damos toda honra, gloria y alabanza, ahora y siempre. Amén.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Okay, so I welcome you all to the January 15, 2026 Socorro City Council meeting. It is now 6:10 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. And as always, we begin our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. And today's pledge will be led by the Hilly Elementary School students.
Undetected flag. Underneath to detected. One state under God, one indivisible. That can we a million silence.
Thank you all so much. Let's clap for them. Before you all go home and start playing video games and watching TV and stuff like that, we are doing your homework. The City Council and on behalf of the City of Socorro, we want to provide you all with a certificate because it takes a lot to stand up here in front of all these people, and I'm sure all your friends are watching you guys on YouTube right now. but we want to give you a certificate of appreciation. Is that okay? Yes? Our council members are going to call your name, and if you'd like to come up here and shake our hands and then stand here for a quick photograph, because you guys are cool-looking kids, and we want to take a picture with you all.
Samara Arzate Juárez.
Lia Aguirre. Congratulations, thank you.
Scarlett Ortiz.
Good job.
Thank you.
And Enrique Ortiz.
Thank you, sir.
You guys want to be standing in the middle? You want to scoot
Over here,
on
guys.
over here to the left a bit, so we can get a nice picture. You guys here standing in the middle?
Move this way.
We have a hard time sometimes.
There you go.
Would the parents like to come up and take a photo of their students or teachers or administrators? Yes? You want to come up? You took pictures already? Okay. All right. Good stuff, guys. All right. Let's go home and do some homework now. All right. At this time, we're going to go ahead and establish quorum.
Ruben Reyes,
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Here.
Alejandro Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Rudy Cruz.
Here.
Gina Cordero. Here. And Irene Rojas is absent. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Navarro. We're going to move into the public comment portion of our meeting with agenda item number 4. Do we have any speakers signed up?
Yes, Mayor. Our first speaker is Edgar Carrasco.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. Mayor, city council members, and members of the community. I'm here to speak today about an exciting project that the community of Socorro is working on. And we're working on our Apache and Cowboy Spirit Garden. We chose this name with the respect and meaning. The Apaches represent the first caretakers of this land, respect the nature, balance, and community. The Cowboys represent the working families, farmers, and ranchers who help build this area through hard work and responsibility. Together, they tell the story of Socorro, different histories, shared land, and a shared future. We also recognize that this land has long been home to indigenous people, including the Tiwa tribe, whose traditions, farming, water care, respect to earth continue to guide our region. This garden will honor those teachings by caring for the land in thoughtful and responsible way. This garden will become a place to bring people together from the start, and the focus will be our youth. This space will provide a safe and positive place for young people to learn, work, and grow after school, weekends, and the summer. It will help build confidence, responsibility, and pride. One part of our garden will be beekeeping education. Bees are critical to our food system, environment. We have joined the Paseo del Norte Beekeepers Association. And this partnership will also allow us to learn proper, responsible beekeeping and time that share knowledge with our own youth in a safe way. The garden will also include roses, native plants, traditional crops, reflecting how indigenous communities, including the Tiwas, have long grown food in balance with the desert environment. These plants will add beauty, shade, and life to our city. We will use water-smart growing methods such as permaculture, hugelculture. These practices will follow values long held by our communities. What lands gave us, which indigenous communities have used. What the land gives you, waste nothing, and think about the next generation. We will work toward partnerships we have reached out to Texas A&M, the USDA, students from Flint Independent School District, and the Socorro ISD as well. These partnerships will connect education, real-world skills, and help students see agriculture, science, land stewardship, and meaningful paths towards the future. This garden will also become a space for our senior citizens, a calm place where they will be able to walk, sit, garden, and share stories, knowledge with younger generations. As the garden grows, it will help, our goal is that we will help feed families in need, support healthier eating, bring people together through farmers markets and community events. This project will support many city goals at once: youth engagement, public health, education, water conservation, beautification, and community pride. Our hope in this Apache and Cowboy Spirit Garden will become something Socorro is proud of, a place that honors the past,
Mr.
serves
Carrasco,
the
your
present,
time is
and
up.
prepares the future. So I'm excited about this project, so hopefully we already started working it, and hopefully we can have some of you visit us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lalo Medina.
Can I ask staff if they can adjust the camera so that the speakers can be seen on video? Okay. What was the name again, Ms. Navarro?
Lalo Medina. Mr. Medina, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Lalo Medina. I farm here in the area for the last 15, 20 years. A lot of the trees that are planted currently in the area, we sold them, started selling about 20 years ago. So I would say every new tree that is being planted on pecans that was planted in the last 20 years, I would say 80% of 90% came from us. We're part of a community. We continue farming not only here in the outside of the Socorro city in the ETJ area, but also we farm about 500 acres in the Fabens area. So we're part of a community and we continue to participate. I'm here to share the experience of a farmer, and we're looking also as well to share that we asked for the council, in which I should have addressed first. Council members, thank you for having me. We want to share that we only ask to approve a law based on the rule of law. We also appreciate hearing me out. The farm is always a complicated business. It's a very based on commodity prices. The pecan industry has been affected dramatically since 2017 when the trade war in China started. 30% of the pecans in this valley will go into China. That's not happening anymore. So that has changed and put a lot of pressure on the farmers, as myself, as all the rest of the valley. The second thing that has changed is, cost has raised for, everybody knows inflation has catch up in all of us. And also, it is a complexity to farm in an urban area. So I've heard some of the comment periods in the before where people complain about cars and trucks, but they also complain about farmers. So I want to make sure I share with you guys that we do our best to handle the farm roads, which now are used more as the city roads. To people move in the residence and different places, that just be patient with us. We're trying to do our best to move heavy equipment. We also try to be careful with the environment and take care of the water. Also, the challenges on farming is the water quality is dropping down dramatically. There's still quantity, but there's no quality. And a lot of it had to do with the urban area being developed. There's no more, the few inches of rain that we get a year is not getting, into the ground again. And that's creating a lot of salinity, which creates a lot of the challenges that comes with it. So I'm just thankful for you guys for your work. It's a thankless job, what you guys are doing. You come here every week and you hear all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marty Loya.
Good evening, City Council, City
Good
of
evening.
Socorro staff, and Mayor. We're here to present a project that we're working on with the Socorro Mission. And basically, it's a sense of urgency that we want to make sure that everyone understands. Adriana, you want to present that now?
Correct, so right now we're under public comment. You're the next item after
Okay,
this.
okay,
Thank you.
then I'll wait.
Okay, so she's going to reserve her comments for the agenda item? Okay. Okay, do we have any other public?
No more speakers, Mayor.
No? Do we have any online? No? Okay, just making sure. At this time, we're going to move into the presentations. Do any council members want to move up any items before we begin the presentation portion of this meeting?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to move up item 45 and 46 before presentations, please.
Okay, if council wants to take a moment to look at items 45 and 46. And Ms. Cordero has made a motion to move those items up before the presentations.
Second.
There's a motion and second on the table. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. And we'll begin with agenda item number 46. Okay, agenda item number 45 is the presentation, discussion, and action on financing options and budget overview related to the issuance of certificates of obligation and authorization to issue a notice of intent.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is being brought forward to follow up on the council's direction given on November 6th when staff was asked to evaluate financing options to support ongoing and future infrastructure and capital improvement projects. Tonight, Teo Cabrera, CPA with SB&G, will provide a presentation to council that includes a budget overview and financing options related to the possible issuance of certificate of obligations, also known as COs. Following the presentation, staff is requesting council authorization to issue a notice of intent with an amount which is required to step in the process if the city chooses to move forward. This action would allow staff to prepare and bring the notice of intent at the next council meeting. Mr. Teo.
Thank you, Ms. Adriana. Good afternoon, members of council. You may remember me from last summer. My name is Teo Cabrera. I work for the firm SB&G, and I am the independent CPA that performs the audit of the financial statements for the city of Socorro. So the reason why I'm here tonight is because Ms. Adriana has requested my perspective in the sense of what would be the impact of issuing bonds in the city of Socorro's finances. So I'm here tonight as a capacity of an external CPA, right? As your auditor. I'm not a specialist in the area of bonds. It's a really highly specialized area of the law. However, I am providing a perspective based on the knowledge that I've acquired in auditing your financial statements, right? And also looking at the numbers that we're currently auditing for the year ended September 30, 2025. So one of the recommendations that I had provided informally to this council and also to Ms. Adriana in our previous audit was the need to start looking at maybe a new bond issuance. So the last bond issuance was done in 2019, and that was for approximately $9.6 million. Okay, those funds are set aside in a separate bank account, which is the city's capital improvements bank account. And those funds have been spent over the last 5 years. Normally, a bond issuance of that size gets spent a little bit faster. However, some of the things that occurred, obviously, since 2019, there was COVID, and then there were the ARPA monies. The ARPA monies were approximately $8 million originally. So over the last 5 years, the city has been spending a combination of these ARPA funds and then also the latest bond issuance, which was the $9.6 million, and then also other funding, including TxDOT grant monies. So what I'm showing here to slide is a slide showing a summary of the largest infrastructure projects, right? And this is not all the operations, obviously. These are just the largest infrastructure projects that have occurred since the onset of COVID, since that last bond issuance in 2019, all the way through the end of fiscal year 2025. So, right, so these numbers are numbers as of September of this last year. So we have approximately $27.5 million in major expenditures, major improvements, most of them being infrastructure improvements, as we can see here. Now, the mix of funding, approximately 1/3 of it has been financed by TxDOT, right, by grants that have been received by the Texas Department of Transportation. Approximately another 1/4 of it has been financed by the tax reinvestment zone, right, which is a special portion of property taxes that are set aside for projects like this. And then the other 28%, a little bit more than 1/4, was financed with the last bond issuance, right, the 2019 bond issuance. Then the rest is a little bit of a mixed bag. We have a little bit of ARPA funds that have contributed to this, although most of the ARPA funds have been set aside for other projects. And then the general fund, which normally does not kick in, has kicked in approximately 9%. In particular, in the last fiscal year is when the general fund starts kicking in a little bit more into these projects, right? So what has occurred is that since early in fiscal year 2025, basically the money in the capital improvements bank account has been used, right? So there's basically no more money left from the last bond issuance in 2019. And usually the general fund operates at a surplus, which means that the city remains within its operating budget, and the general fund has the ability to kick in some monies to help with these infrastructure projects, right? And that is what we saw in the last year that we are currently auditing. Okay, so just to give you a snapshot of where the last fiscal year ended in terms of how much cash reserves there are, the general fund, and this is the general cash that is available for operations and to do whatever expenditures are necessary, right? So it's just under $5 million. So it's $4.9 million, and that includes the operating bank accounts, and then also an investment bank account that is held with an institution called Logic, which is an investment fund used by many municipalities, right? So these two accounts, the balance as of the end of the last fiscal year, right? I mean, this balance may be different now as of the beginning of January, but as of September, that balance was $4.9 million. Now, the city does have a minimum cash policy, right? A minimum reserve, which was established by this council many years ago, and that policy establishes that the city will always maintain enough money in its unrestricted bank accounts to account for at least 16%, so 16% of the budgeted expenses. So as of the end of the last fiscal year, the minimum cash reserve requirement was $2.7 million. So as we can see, the general fund is healthy, right? There's more money there than the minimum cash reserve. The close to $5 million that we're seeing, that is roughly a little bit more than 33% of the budgeted general fund expenditures. So it's based on the rule of thumb, you want to have at least 25%, so you're well above the 25%, and you're well above the minimum cash reserve, right? So where we expect the year to end, this current fiscal year, 2026, if we continue spending in the same pattern, meaning that if there's no bonds issued and the general funds continues to put some of its money into streets and repairs and some of the projects that are being partially funded by TxDOT, then what we anticipate is that the general reserve is going to be closer to $3.6 million by the end of fiscal year 2026, right? And this is assuming that you are within your budget, right? Your budget actually calls for a $3 million use of your reserves, but normally you don't use the entire budget amount. So we're thinking that you're going to be somewhere in the middle, essentially being left with about $3.6 million, right? And this is without any new bond issuance and expecting that you're going to be somewhat similar operating expenditures than the last fiscal year. So at this point, the required minimum fund balance would be $3 million. So you're going to be getting really close to that limit, okay? So coming into mind, the recommendation would be to at least consider a bond issuance, so there is the possibility to continue investing in streets and then other projects. Now, this slide shows a really rough view of basically the wish list, right? The estimated projects that the city manager has contemplated and put together in evaluating what would be the amount of bond issuances to go after, right? So as you can see, the total amount of projects that are anticipated and I would say maybe the next 5 years is approximately $29 million, right? So what you're seeing in yellow is one of the things that I have asked Ms. Adriana, have had asked her to kind of give us a priority of which of these projects are to be started first or finished. The other recommendation that I provided is to look not just of how much we want to get done, but what can the city reasonably complete in a 3 to 5 year horizon. Okay, and the reason for this is because if it's going to go beyond 5 years or 3 years, it may be contrary to the requirements of the bond ordinances. Most of these bond ordinances require these projects to be completed within a relatively short period of time, usually 3 to 5 years, right? So the longer we take, right, to finish them, we're going to have those bond monies in the bank account, and those generate interest. However, there may be some requirements of having to pay some tax backs to the IRS, right, if we're not spending these monies fast enough. And then also, we're going to be stuck paying the interest for a longer amount of time, right? So my recommendation is first look at the previous history. So what has the city done in its most recent history? So in its most recent history, the 2019 bond was $9.2 million, and the issuances before that was in 2014. So we can see roughly a 5-year window, and it was roughly for the same amount, right? So in these two last bond issuances, the city has remained within that $10 million sort of threshold, okay? So that would be my first inclination, is to, okay, we'll see how much we can get done with $10 million following the history of what has been done in the past. Now, the other option is to try to go a little bit higher than that, and considering that prices for everything have really changed in the last 5 years, and the city has grown, and there's more projects going on now than we had in 2019 or in 2014. So the other option would be to go with roughly $15 million. And the $15 million, going back to that slide, roughly aligns with the items in yellow highlighted here. Okay, so that more or less gives us the $15 million, right? So the priority would be to have enough to meet the commitments that the city has made or is planning on making when it comes to getting grants, right? So that's what we refer to as local matches. So significant amount of grants that are infrastructure driven, so the grants that are provided by TxDOT and other similar grants, they usually require the city to kick in a 20% match, right? So the bond money would be used to cover these matches. And the estimate provided by Ms. Adriana is roughly $4 million, right? Some of it has already been committed, some of it is expected to be committed in the near future. So the first $4.5 million would go to these matches. And then another project that is anticipated is that the city would like to move forward and explore the options of creating a solid waste department that would be exclusive for the city of Socorro. And Ms. Adriana can speak more about that if you all have more questions. But these would be the two largest uses of funds. There's also a very important priority in continuing improving parks and continuing improving sidewalks, right? So those would be the other projects that are listed here. And last but not least, the police department would be reinforced with equipment, right? So those are or what appear to be at this point, the priority uses of the $15 million. Again, if the bonds don't pass, at least the local match would probably have to come from the general fund, which, going back to where we were discussing how much reserves we have in the general fund, we don't want to have less than $3 million, and we're thinking that we're going to end at around $3.6 million. Okay? So those are the numbers. Again, the recommendation is really focusing on that 3-year horizon. The city's bond specialist has reinforced that these projects should have a 3-year timeline, okay? So it's trying to be realistic and how much can the city staff and how much can the resources that the city have really achieve in the next 3 years. So to me, that would be the starting point. And then also making sure that we're covering our local match, obviously, right? Because that is what's coming first. And then also going for considering, the 10 million versus the 15 million, right? So if you want to go and issue a larger amount, there's really nothing that's preventing you from doing it. You could go and issue the $29 million. However, it would have a higher impact in the property taxes that would be established, right? If we go with the $29 million, right? So there are some benefits. Obviously, borrowing more money is going to give you higher capacity to start more projects a lot sooner. But that's why I'm going back to, okay, but how much can we really start in the next 3 years, right? Obviously, the $29 million will give us a large canyon, and some of the interest could be reinvested in these projects. And then we wouldn't have to go over multiple issuances. Okay, so those would be the advantages of going with a really large $29 million issuance. Now, if we go more conservative, we don't have such a large increase in the property taxes at once, right? And we always have the option of going for more in the future, right? And if interest rates go down or they change, we can take advantage of a lower interest rate in the future. Obviously, maybe interest rates would be higher, so we always have that risk, but we would be stuck with whatever interest rate we have now if we go with the $29 million, okay? So those are some things to consider. And then just the other thing is that it is really important to consider monitoring that minimum cash reserve, right? So the budgeting period begins in June. The budgeting season begins in June. So by the time we hit June 2026, the city will have a good idea of how much cash reserves they're going to have and how much they're going to be ending the fiscal year with. So at this point, it's going to be important to consider whether we're going to renew the next property tax rate without going into an election to increase past the 3.5%. Okay, so let me just show you a snapshot of the property tax rate that is the effective rate since 2018. So since 2018, the city has not had an election to increase the property taxes. So it means that the property tax rate has been established at a rate that only provides an additional 3.5% to your general reserve. Okay, so we can see the property tax rate has gone down every single year. And the reason for that is because property tax values have gone up, right? So there's an inverse relationship. However, the city has not pushed an election to go beyond the 3.5% in the property tax rate, okay? And in order to do that, to continue doing that, it is really important that you don't fall beneath that minimum cash reserve. Okay? So this year you may be close to that amount, but I mean, if you continue to be prudent, as the city usually is, you should be able to continue in this rate. So just to give you an idea, this is just an illustration. So again, no one has a crystal ball, so we don't know what's going to happen with property tax values, right? And the property tax values, they are not established by the city of Socorro, right? Just as a reminder, the property tax values are determined by the appraisal district, and they're determined also by market forces, and they're also determined by how much growth, right, and how much new construction. So in an illustration in which property values increase by 8%, this is more or less what we're looking at if the city were to go with a $15 million bond and also the border approval rate, meaning no elections. So that means that your property taxes only increase by 3.5% for the general fund, and then you'd raise just enough taxes to cover the bond. With a $15 million bond and with an 8% increase in property tax values, the rate would be close to the 62, 63 cents, more or less. So it would likely still be a smaller rate than what currently has been approved for the fiscal year. If you go with the $29 million bond, you'll be looking at a higher increase, obviously. So in a scenario where property tax values increase by 8%, and you approve a $29 million bond, then you would be looking at a closer to a 67-cent rate. Okay. Now, in the situation that you need to go to an election, so let's say that the general fund cash reserve is getting close to that minimum cash balance, and there's a need to raise the property taxes a little bit beyond. So this is another possible scenario, right? So with the $15 million bond, increasing the property tax rate past the election amount, you would be closer to a 69 cents rate, okay? So just some figures for you to consider. Again, these are just some sort of options for you. Ultimately, this council has the burden of deciding what a reasonable amount of bond amount is. And if you do not approve a bond issuance, then you would need to look for other strategies, right, of covering the very needs of the city with the general fund and with the property taxes that have been established. Okay, so hopefully this was in plain English. I tried our best to make it easy to understand. It is a very complex topic. And again, it's just to give you guys some illustrations for you to consider as you move into this possible bond issuance. Does anyone have any questions?
Any members of council have any questions or comments on the presentation? No? I just have some comments to make. You know, our residents are frustrated, and they're getting tired of seeing the patchwork happening in our city. They want to see overlays. They're getting frustrated and impatient because the sidewalks aren't coming soon enough. They're frustrated to see the parks and the conditions that they're in, and I think that we all can agree here on the table that we've all received multiple calls, emails from our constituents because it doesn't come fast enough. And as much as we want to, we don't have a budget that's robust enough to cover all of these things. And our residents, they want to see action, and they want to see it now. And I think that this is the only way that we can achieve it is through a bond issuance, because we're already dipping into the reserves, and we want to remain with a healthy reserve amount. Because what that does, it puts a lot of strain on our operating budget. And the last thing that I want to do is take police officers off the street to cover all the other things. We can cut the fat on our budget all we want. We will never get to the amount needed to start doing complete street overlays, replacing park equipment, fixing our parks, making it look nice. I think our kids and our residents deserve the nice parks like they have over on the west side. I think our residents are worth that, and I think that this is the only way that we're going to be able to achieve it. So I hope that in the near future we can come together and and we can find a happy medium here, amongst our residents and the table here. But ultimately, that's what I'm seeing right now is it's not coming fast enough, and we don't have the money to do it. That's why we're just able to do the patchwork. And I'm tired of seeing the patchwork. I'm tired of seeing the parks looking the way they look, because we don't have the sufficient amount of funds to go in there and do these complete repairs. I want some nice playground equipment for our kids to play in. I really, really want to see it. But I appreciate you coming here today and presenting, and I'm sure that in the near future we're going to have a whole lot more questions for you. Mr. Garcia?
So I'm going to be very blunt. If this doesn't happen, we're only going to have money to cut the grass, because we're not going to be able to do sidewalks. We're not going to be able to hire new police officers. We're not going to be able to do what everybody else wants us to do, as Mr. Cruz, our mayor, said. This is a rough patch for Socorro. We've always held back on the taxes because of, it's just, we have. But as of right now, it doesn't look good, because the example's there, and everybody who's here needs to hear it. We all want everything for our city. The only problem is the way I answer is how we're gonna pay for it. And that's gonna make this very difficult time, especially for council. But I'm being as honest as I can be, that if we want things here in the city, things are gonna have to change a little bit. And I'm just being honest, because I can't sugarcoat it any other way. It's gonna cost us, because we wanna hire more cops. We wanna have the best here. We wanna have the parks. We wanna have everything. But we've kept our tax rate super low. And don't mix us up with SISD. The city of Socorro is way different, because everybody tells us about SISD. SISD is their own rate, and you pay a lot more for them than you pay for us. But this is very bleak time for us, and I want everybody to understand that. That's why I tell you, some people get afraid about projects. We don't have money for projects. And I hope that this is a very straightforward answer, and if we just want the grass cut, then we don't have to move from here. But if everybody wants sidewalks, new equipment for police officers, more police officers, parks, all that good stuff that we like, sidewalks, it's gonna be costly, and this is where we are now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. And you're absolutely right with a lot of the comments that you say. There's grant funding in the millions of dollars, but like you mentioned, there has to be a match that we have to put up. And we can get these projects done, but we need to put up the local match, and this is the only way that we're going to be able to put up the local match without dipping into our reserves more than we already have.
Correct.
I think we can make some good stuff happen here in the next 3 to 5 years, if we can get this going here. But yeah, like Mr. Garcia says, it's going to cost us a little bit of money. But you know what? That's where the younger generation of our residents need to come in and start seeing it that way. Quality of life, it's going to cost a little bit. I think we spent more at the steakhouse on family dinners than we would see here paying annually for a small little increase here. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And
and also just want to reemphasize, the rate has, as you can see, since 2019 has not gone up beyond the border approval rate, right? So as far as how much you get for your operations, you have only been increasing by 3.5%, which is the maximum allowed by the Texas property tax code, right? So that is a really conservative way to operate. And usually the city has never exceeded its budget, right, in the general fund. So I can say that, you all are used to operating within your means, but like you're saying, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're slowing too much, or you're having to start using those reserves that you have built over the years with a lot of sacrifices. So just things to consider. There's no easy decisions. And again, I'm just the auditor, right? I'm just telling you the numbers. Whatever decision you'll have is going to be the right decision, I'm sure. And the city will adapt to whatever is approved.
And what's happened throughout the course of 2018 to now is we've seen so much residential growth. There's more streets to patrol, there's more sidewalks to install, there's more public works work that needs to be done in all of these parks and neighborhoods. But because these councils in the past and this current council have always wanted to do right by the people, we've kept the tax rate where it's at. But all the other entities, taxing entities of residents have gone up. SISD, Lower Valley Water, the county, the hospital, EPCC. Those are all the other taxing entities that we have to pay taxes. They have all raised it, but because we never wanted to be the bad guy for our residents, we've kept them where they're at. But right now, we are busting at the seams, and I think we can do what the people want us to do. But at the same time, I don't think that that's a decision that can be made just by us. And so we want the residents to also give us their input on that as well. And we'll afford that opportunity to them once we cross that bridge. But I appreciate the presentation.
Sure.
Are there any more comments, Mr. Reyes?
Got a quick comment. I think it's very important for us to go out and educate our people, our constituents, and let them know about the tax. Like the mayor said, we have UMC, we have a community college. Everybody's going out for bonds, and they always blame it on us. Están bien altos los taxes in Socorro. No, we get very little money.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure if we collect $5, we tell them, okay, $1's gonna go for here, another one over here, because we're always gonna be getting those comments, where's the money at, where's the money? So it is very important to let them know how much we're gonna get and where that money's gonna go.
Absolutely, and our staff has done an amazing job, and I'm sure that they'll create some type of a visual tool that we can use here in the future, so that we can help educate ourselves as a community and show our residents how the monies work within the city government. Any more comments or questions on this one here? No. Ms. Rodarte, sorry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Right now, staff does need direction, though, if we're going to proceed with the issuance of certificate of obligation. If so, provide me an amount so we can bring the notice of intent to our next meeting.
That's the directive that you need tonight?
Correct. I need an actual amount if we want to proceed with the certificates of obligation.
Absolutely. Can you do me a favor and bring up that chart again that shows the dollar amounts for bond issuance?
I'd like to make a motion to, for a $29 million bond. Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Garcia and a second by Mr. Nevares for a $29 million, what would you call it, Jim? Just
So before you go there, that is not something that staff recommends, just because of we don't believe we're going to be able to spend $29 million in the next 3 years.
That's what I was gonna say is
Right? We're aiming more for a 15 million.
15?
Yes,
I like
right,
to-
because we don't recommend the 29. Is it doable? Yes, but we just don't believe that we would be able to spend those type of funds that rapidly, just because there's a lot of procurement processes we have to, there's a lot of red tape, right? So I would recommend either a 10 to $15 million.
And the staff recommends 15?
Yes.
So I'd like to amend my motion to a $15 million bond. Second.
Yeah, Mr. Martinez?
Good evening, Council. Jim Martinez, City Attorney. The council is inclined to approve the item and issue a note, authorize your staff to prepare a notice for the next meeting in the amount of $15,000. I would include basically what you said. I'm sorry, 15 million. I would include what you said, but include the word approve. So a motion to approve, but the notice in the amount of 15.
Okay, we make a motion to approve the $15 million notice.
Okay, there's been a motion and second on the table for the $15 million bond issuance for staff to provide that notice of intent on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. On the next item that we're going to be moving on into is item number 46. This is the discussion and action regarding amended petition to release the following real property from the city of Socorro's ETJ, approximately 2.31 square miles, 1,478.40 acres, described as Vista Bonita subdivision, blocks 1-14, Pecan Valley Estate subdivision, blocks 1-9, Grijalva subdivision, block 1, and Athena West subdivision, blocks 1-11.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is for discussion and action regarding the amended petition that was received on December 9th, requesting the release of approximately 2.31 square miles or 1,478.40 acres from the city of Socorro, ETJ. After reviewing the amended petition, staff verified 582 registered voters within the revised area, 312 valid signatures, and a verification of 53.61. So it's meeting the 50% threshold. Based on this review, the amended petition meets the statutory requirements for council's consideration.
Okay.
And we're here to answer any questions.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments on the table by any members of council? No? There was a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second.
Yes. Okay, there's a motion and second on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Okay, that motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, now moving on to the presentation portion of our meeting, we're going to go ahead and bounce back to agenda item number 5. This is the update for Together for the Socorro Mission. This is a fundraising event and restoration campaign.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening we have Ms. Marty Loya and Ms. Magda Mabrera that will give an update on the fundraising efforts under the Together for the Socorro Mission event and restoration campaign.
Hello again.
Back again.
All right.
Adriana, do you want to show them the box?
I'm sorry?
You want to present the box?
Yes.
Can we turn down the AC?
Yes.
Off, or, yeah. I appreciate it.
To them, right?
Yes. So good evening again.
Good evening.
So prior to Christmas, we have started a campaign, a fundraiser campaign, and in planning an event that's going to happen in October of this year.
Ms. Loya, can we adjust the mic a little bit so we,
A little bit closer, yeah.
yeah.
Is this better?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
So it's a sense of urgency of what is happening to our Socorro mission, La Purísima. And this is for phase 2. There's a budget of $2.7 million to do the restoration, and that entails many activities. I don't know if you've gotten this, that is outlined in this document. We have representatives from the Catholic Properties of El Paso, who are the project managers for this project, and also Magda, who is very much involved in different phases and different things of the Socorro mission. The box before you has been distributed to close to 100 companies, car dealerships, attorneys, lawyers, the City of El Paso Council, El Paso County, just to get the word out that we are in desperate need for funding for this project. And we come to City Council as well too to consider what you can do to support this project, because like I say, it is a sense of urgency. Colleague, you want to give some detail on the project?
Hello?
Basically, on phase 1, there is
Can we
currently-
speak into the mic, please?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Basically, on phase 1, there is currently occurring on the church. Is phase 1, like item number 1, is to preserve the integrity of the structure, and we have 95% completion currently on the church regarding phase 1. The phase 2, we intend to delimited grading. That's to deviate the water from the mission, to install the helical piers to stabilize the concrete slab, the removal of the AC units that are currently on the roof, These items are causing some stress on the vigas and the adobe walls. And then we're gonna do the underground work for the HVAC system. And then to finalize, we're gonna pretend to install a new roof.
So as you can see, there's quite a bit of things that need to be due for the restoration. The budget does say $2 million. In order for the the church to actually get a loan from the diocese, they have to come up with 40% of that budget, so they can even come get a loan. So we're working towards it. Our goal is to raise $2 million at least, and that's going to be through donors that receive the box. And we're also going to have a fundraising event in October at Bodega Loya, where we're going to invite everyone to attend for that as well too. Magda.
It's a big afternoon. October 17th. We're working with October because the establishment date for the Pueblo of Socorro is October the 13th, 1680. In that respect, we just celebrated our 345th birthday. And I'm going to go ahead and say something that's been a little frustrating to me over time. I kind of wish that we would achieve a certain consistency, because the date that is firm for the establishment of Socorro is October the 13th, 1680. And yet our logo says 1691. I believe that may have to do with construction of the mission. 1682 gets thrown around quite a bit, but to be very honest, the date that I really feel that we should hold firm to is 1680. Because after that, if you get into the weeds of the history, there's a lot of variance. But the establishment date is firm, 1680. We have we're going to talk a little bit about the details, starting at the mission, including the old mission site, including some stops along the way, probably at Wind Down, and then ending up at Bodega, right? Those are plans. Those are the overarching plans for now. Yeah.
So we're hoping to hear from our donors. Like I say, we have distributed the boxes. We're going to follow up with them to do a save the date for the event, but we are relying on them, and we know the money is out there. We know it's out there. It's going to take a committee and a village to go after these people and make sure they understand the urgency that we have. The mission is a great asset. It's a gem, not only for our city, but for the region, for the city of El Paso, for the Mission Trail, for the state, for the nation. And we don't want to lose it. And we're in desperate need that we could lose it if we don't raise this money to do the restoration. The event in October will start at the mission with a tour. We'll be using the parking lot and for people that want to leave their vehicle there, and they can take a vehicle. We'll have a van or something. They'll take them to the original site and then start the event at the Wind Down. We're going to have chefs, 10 local chefs throughout the area, demonstrating what they cook. We're going to have entertainment, and we're going to have a silent auction. So all that's in the works right now, but we're hoping that the city of Socorro also helps us in any way they can. Any questions for any of us?
Any members of council have any questions or comments? I know that there's a great desire as a local government because you can see the logo that's used, and it's everywhere. It's plastered everywhere, our mission. What can be frustrating at times is the funding that we receive as a local government. It can only be used for improvements done in public right-of-way, parks and roads and whatnot. The city itself can't take money out of its budget to give to the church. That would be ideal. I mean, that'd be in a perfect world. But I think what we can do as city representatives and representatives of this area, we can help promote and campaign with you all to help raise these funds. I'm assuming the 40% is around the $800,000 mark in order to
It's about $1 million.
about $1 million so that we can get this loan. I was under the impression that the Catholic diocese, they have money. I know I put my money in the basket every Sunday, but I didn't know that we had to go out for loans. But maybe what I've been interested in wanting to do is become part of some Texas historical associations that can help bring funding, but I would have to do it as an individual, and I'm more than happy and willing to do that. I just need to find out which one has more money so that I can bring that back to you all. But thank you always for showing that passion, because I know that every time I send people to the Socorro mission, they always meet Magda, and she's an awesome tour guide, and she tells the beautiful story of our mission very, very well. And we appreciate residents like you all that come from pioneers of Socorro that have continued with the traditions and the upkeeping of our mission, because not very many people do.
And sponsorship can be in different forms, right? It can be volunteers for our event. It can be cooking gorditas. I mean, whatever. We're just looking for the support.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next presentation is to recognize the Three Missions Brewery as Small Business of the Quarter. And Ms. Alejandra Valadez and Mr. Quinones will be presenting this, and the owner of Three Missions Brewery will be providing a sample to all in attendance tonight. No, I'm joking, that's not part of the agenda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's a pleasure to be here, and Happy New Year to all of you. Wishing us a lot of success as we move forward in this new year. Today, I bring to you one of the first persons that I came in contact when I started with the city, and it gives me a lot of pleasure to talk about this business, because they were the ones, the small business, that said, we believe in this community, we believe in what Socorro can offer, and we're willing to put our cents and time into it. And today we're gonna recognize Three Missions Brewery. You can go to slide 3. So this is the fourth quarter of what we've been doing with our small business recognition program, which reflects the last 3 months, October, November, December. And in the all other business category, Three Missions Brewery was recognized, has been awarded. Today, joining me today is Ricardo Razo, the owner of the microbrewery that was established in 2020 during the pandemic. I mean, talk about, a tough time to start a business during a pandemic and in a community which has its own challenges, and then you throw in that everybody's tight on the money, and so all those conditions, and he pulled forward with it, and what a pleasure, because what he offers is a microbrewery, a very unique product. It is made here in Socorro. It's not made in Washington or in Michigan or in St. Louis or in Denver, some big breweries we hear about, but rather here in the heart of El Paso County in Socorro. And Three Missions Brewery, raise your hand if you've been there before. Don't be ashamed if you're 18 and old, 21 and older, right?
We're all guilty.
Great brewery, great place to be. I think the ambience is a big part of it. The fact that it is in a historical building right next to Casa Ortiz, right next to it. And I think Ricardo's done a wonderful job. I know his staff is really on top of things. When you go there, I've seen folks, tourists, that just go there to have a beer and enjoy the scenery. And what pleasure it gives me to recognize Three Missions Brewery and its owner for all the work, his commitment, and his dedication. He's also a so-called mentor. So businesses, he's given topics to other small businesses in and around Socorro on what it is, the challenges, and all the opportunities that this community has. So with no further ado, I wanna recognize and ask Ricardo to give us his think we have a certificate for you, but I'd like for you to maybe talk a little bit more about three missions, if you can.
Well, thank you all. I really appreciate this. I love the city of Socorro. I'm so glad I started my business here. I'm very happy to start it here. The love of history, the love of beer, and combined in this old adobe building in Plaza Ortiz. Just an amazing experience. We're going on 6 years. I want to give thanks to God, my wife, and all my children. I got 5 of them. My oldest is 5, and so I work really hard. And that's why I'm only 33 and I look 45. All right. But I really appreciate this award and the city of Socorro and everybody who works for it. All right. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You all would join in to take a photo?
Yeah, Rick, if you want to come up here, and we would like to present to you the certificate. Rick, how do you like the sidewalks? They're awesome. All right, good stuff. All right. Okay. The next item on the agenda is number 7. This is the presentation on the Texas Women's Leadership Institute, the class of 2026.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Victor Reta, your Communications Director. I have some exciting news for the City of Socorro, which will propel us not only on the local, regional, but also the state and national level. Recently, we were approached by Texas Women's Leadership Institute. You might be asking, what exactly is that? So the Leadership Institute is not a conference, it is the Leadership Accelerator. It is the premier leadership pipeline for municipal government, specifically for female empowerment leaders, specifically senior officials within cities across the state of Texas. This is a very competitive program which only selects 20 women from the state of Texas, most of which are done through either application, but some of which are done through nomination. Focused on solving real-world problems that are plaguing local cities, they will tackle 5 areas of improvement which focus on building not only strong leaders, but also strong cities. As mentioned, it is an extremely competitive process in which they look at municipalities from all over the state to go ahead and select their pool of applicants. Why does it matter? The city of Socorro was looked at and considered to be a highly selective city which had great potential in terms of a city to watch in terms of development, growth, and innovation. I'm sorry. It is a statewide honor, and it is also excellence by design, as many cities across the state look to see to have one of their positions filled by a member of their city. As mentioned, only 20 participants are selected every year. Some of the things that they challenge include organizational leadership, public finance, economic development, negotiation and conflict resolution, infrastructure, and public works. However, the bottom line is that they look at building strong leaders in order to make stronger cities. Throughout the night, you've heard that our city has done a lot more with a lot less, and we value all the leadership that we've had within the city. So when I got the call that they looked at our city to nominate someone, it was extremely, extremely honorable. Part of the program does look at creating executive seminars, mentorships from top Texas city managers. They do shadow and applied learning to go ahead and create not only infrastructure, but also recreate successful programs from other cities in the state and bring them to your local city. So the statewide recognition will include the elevation of Socorro's presence and voice at the local and state level. We are the only city in Texas from the western part of the state that has been awarded a seat at this table. We are one of, again, only 20 cities that will be represented this year, and we are the only one attending the executive seminar. This places Socorro alongside some of the most respected communities in the state. With that being said, they're happy to announce that this year's recipient of a scholarship is City Manager Adriana Rodarte. From all City Council and the department heads, we got you a little arrangement to commemorate your award.
Ms. Rodarte, you want to come up here and receive your gift? I think it's a big deal. Let's take a picture with our city manager here.
For history, the City of Socorro is the only West Texas city that has been honored with the place in the past 20 years. Ms. Rodarte will join city managers, city leaders, and other senior officials throughout the state for the next 6 months to gain education, internship, and experience to better the City of Socorro in all aspects of our departments and personnel. Congratulations, Ms. Rodarte. Ms. Rodarte should say a speech. You should say a speech.
It's your turn to speak.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm extremely honored. I've been here for 12 years, and I can tell you that I'm very passionate about my city, born and raised here, so I do have deep roots, but I love seeing how the city is growing and how it's progressing and just what the things to come. So I'm very honored to be representing our city of Socorro at the state level. Thank you.
You can cry if you want. You know, the majority of our directors that run the operations here, majority of them are women, because I get asked all the time. And Ms. Rodarte, I know she doesn't say it openly, but I'm in her office every week, and I go in there and she can hear my boots coming down the hallway, and she's like, this guy again. But it's because we only want good things to happen for our residents, and I know that I run the operation pretty hard sometimes, and I'll send her an email in the morning, and by the evening it's already been taken care of, and that's something that I've worked for different organizations, and that's not a common practice. So we appreciate your hard work, and congratulations, and represent us well. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda.
Motion to approve a consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor of consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Are there any items that we need to move up before we move into the regular agenda? Do we need to delete any items?
I would like to delete item 26 and 27.
Second.
Ms. Cordero has made a motion to delete items 26 and 27. There's a second by Mr. Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Okay. Now we're going to move up to agenda item number 22. This is a public hearing of an ordinance for the amendment to the City of Socorro's master plan and rezoning of Lot 1, Block 12, Alameda Estates, replat subdivision located at 10371 Manzana Drive, Socorro, Texas, from R1 single-family residential to R2 medium-density residential to allow for a triplex. It is now 7:20 p.m. and the public hearing is now open.
No speakers, Mayor.
As there are no speakers, we'll be closing the public hearing comment period at 7:21. Agenda item number 23. This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance for the amendment to the City of Socorro's master plan and rezoning of Lot 1, Block 12, Alameda Estates, replat subdivision located at 10371 Manzana Drive, Socorro, Texas, from R1 single-family residential to R2 medium-density residential to allow for a triplex.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. This is Lorraine Quimiro, City Planner. This item on the agenda is 10371 Manzana Drive rezoning request. The legal description is Lot 1, Block 12 of Alameda Estates, replat. The property owner and representative is Juan Vaquera Jr. and is present to answer any questions at the end of the presentation. The property is 10,695 square feet in size. It is zoned R1 and currently vacant. The future land use map for the area designates this as suburban residential. And in summary, the request is to rezone the property from R1 to R2 to allow for a triplex on the property. Staff recommends approval of the request, and City Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval, voting 3 yeses, zero no's and 0 abstentions at their meeting on December the 2nd. The property is located on the corner of Escalante and Manzana Drive. It is currently R1 and surrounded by R1 residential zoning. The subdivision map shows the Alameda Estates subdivision. Various R1, R2, R3 zoning changes have been made in this subdivision. The future land use map designates the area as suburban residential. And the aerial image shows the property. On the aerial is an outdated aerial. This land is currently vacant. That structure is no longer on the property. These are photos looking at the property from Manzana Drive as well as from the intersection of Manzana and Escalante, showing the vacant property. Public notices were sent to property owners within 200 feet of the applicant property. 1 letter was received and included in the backup. Their concerns varied along different areas of the compatibility of the property, proposed land use, the additional traffic, the additional noise being brought to the neighborhood, an established neighborhood, as well as a notice of opposition from a person who spoke at the Planning and Zoning Commission against the rezoning request, also citing their concerns with traffic and the impacts to changes to their property values. The next slide shows the site plan showing the parking on Escalante and the 3 units surrounded on frontage with landscaping. The next shows the elevation. In summary, the request is for approval of a rezoning of a property from R1 to R2 to allow for a triplex. With that, staff can answer any questions, and Mr. Vaquera is also present to answer any questions that council may have.
Any members of council have any questions on this agenda item here? No? No? I believe there was a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Okay, that motion carries. Thanks. We're going to go ahead and move on to agenda item number 24. This is a public hearing of an ordinance approving a preliminary plat for the Flor del Bosque subdivision being all of tract 11A, block 32, San Elizario Grant, El Paso County, Texas, and located near Petunia Drive. It's now 7:26 p.m. and the public hearing period is now open.
No speakers, Mayor.
All right. As there are no speakers, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:26 p.m. Agenda item number 25. This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a preliminary plat for the Flor del Bosque subdivision being all of tract 11A, block 32, San Elizario Grant, El Paso County, Texas, and located near Petunia Drive.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Some general information regarding this preliminary plat request. The property is of Tract 11A, Block 32, San Elizario Grant. The property owner is Flor del Rio LLC, and CEA Group is their representative. Jorge Escarate is present to answer any question that council may have. The property is 82.18 acres in size. There is no zoning, as this is outside of the City of Socorro's city limits, but it is within the City of Socorro's ETJ. The request is for approval of a preliminary plat for the Flor del Bosque subdivision. Planning and zoning staff recommends approval of the request. At their Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on December 2nd, the commissioners voted to approve the request 3-0. This aerial map shows the location of the property. These are outside of the city limits, so there is no zoning. The purple shows the area within the ETJ and the portion of the plat that is within the City of Socorro's ETJ, the remainder being in the county. These are photographs of the property, and these photos were taken from Petunia Drive. Traffic impact analysis was submitted. This is the preliminary plat for the Flor del Bosque subdivision. It is for 355 residential lots. It would also contain 5 ponds. And with that, staff can answer any questions.
Does council have any questions on this development? It's not even in our city. It's only in our ETJ. Okay. There was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Before we move on, I know that a lot of us are coming to these meetings from our other jobs. I'd like to see if anyone would like to entertain a motion for a short recess.
Make a motion for a 10-minute recess. Second.
Motion and second on the table for a recess. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. At this time, we're going to go ahead and take a short recess.
Unmuted.
I want to welcome everybody back to the second portion of our January 15th, 2026 meeting. It's now 7:50 p.m. and we're going to move into agenda item number 28. This is the public hearing of an ordinance approving a final plat for Horizon Park Unit 4 and a waiver request from Section 38-49, compliance with requirements, subsection D, for the proposed storm drainage tie into Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision being Track 10-1, Block 3, Socorro Grant, and located at E. Burt Road, Socorro, Texas. And public hearing is now open at 7:50 p.m.
No speakers, Mayor.
As there are no speakers, we're going to go ahead and close the public comment period at 7:50 p.m. Agenda item number 29. This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a final plat for Horizon Park Unit 4 and a waiver request from Section 38-49, compliance with requirements, subsection D, for the proposed storm drainage tie into Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision being Track 10-1, Block 3, Socorro Grant, and located at E. Burt Road, Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item is Horizon Park Unit 4 subdivision final plat. The property is located off of Burt Road. It is Track 10I, Block 3 of Socorro Grant. Bowling Brother Development Company LLC are the owners. Their representative, Jorge Ascarate with CEA Engineering, is present to answer any questions that you may have. The property is just under 3.5 acres in size and zoned R2, medium density residential. The current land use is vacant, and the request is for approval of a final plat for Horizon Park Unit 4 and the waiver request from Section 3849 in compliance requirements to allow them to tie into an existing pond for the Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision. Planning and zoning staff recommends approval of the request for the final plat and the waiver request. Planning and Zoning Commission voted at their December 2nd meeting for approval of the request with 2 yeses and 1 abstention. As I previously mentioned, the property is located off of Burt Road. It is R2, medium density residential, surrounded by other residential zoning, R1 and R2 zoning districts. It is currently vacant as shown on the aerial. Pictures taken from Burt show the vacant property. And this is the request from CEA for the waiver. And this is the final plat. This will be a residential subdivision with a road tying into Burt. In summary, the request is for approval of the final plat for Horizon Park Unit 4 and a waiver request from Section 3849, compliance with requirements, subsection D, for the proposed storm drainage tie-into Cotton Cove Unit 2 subdivision. With that, staff can answer any questions, and the representative, Jorge Escarate, is present to answer any questions as well.
Does council have any questions on this agenda item? I have a few, Ms. Quimito. The waiver request, again, is for the tie-in of storm drain.
Yes, so instead of having 2 small separate storm drains, this is one developer, we can combine the 2 and the drainage can be handled by the Cotton Cove subdivision.
It's one larger one, and they abut each other, so.
Yeah. And then for the city, in the long run, it's easier to maintain one versus 2.
Versus 2. Are there any residents in that area where the future development is happening that don't have access to, like, the water and the sewer?
Yes. On the Mesa Drain properties?
Will we be able to tie those residents in now with this new development?
Yes.
Okay. Can we have Mr. Escarate approach the podium?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Jorge Ascarte with CA Group for the record.
Good evening. Can we bring up the map showing, I guess like the site plan is a better one to look at. With the orange, there you go. The reason why I'm asking this is because there's some monies that are going to be made available here in the near future, coming down from the state, that we want to take advantage of for our residents, and we're trying to identify any and all projects similar to the ones that have been identified by the state for funding to be used. Can you describe the areas of residents that, and I know it's not your job, but being familiar with the area, that show the residents that don't have, current utility services?
Currently, there's, between the Mrs. Drain Road and the red highlighted project area, there's 4 properties that are they're either landlocked or have limited services. They all have water. We got confirmed by Lower Valley Water District.
You need the wastewater and
They
I
have
think gas.
no, water, regular water.
Natural gas is one that lacks, I think.
I believe gas, sewer lacks. So as part of our subdivision, we're coming in with 18 lots, and we're gonna extend a paved surface from Burt Road all the way to the end to kind of, I'm gonna call it stub it out, or it kind of terminates at the property line. And now these residents are gonna have paved access from Burt Road all the way to the front of the property. In addition, we're bringing in water, even though they already have water, but obviously these are residential lots that we got to bring utilities into. But also we're going to extend sanitary sewer from Burt Road all the way to our property line. However, we've been working with the Lower Valley, and the Lower Valley actually engaged us to go ahead and design a sewer line that's going to serve those residents right now. So I just met with Ed Long in the Lower Valley on Tuesday. They gave me a couple comments they want me to address. We'll probably resubmit on Monday. And they said they will probably take about a day or two. Actually, Monday they're closed, so it'll probably be Tuesday. Probably about a day or two before they get them approved. We're looking at going out to construction, go out to bid on Friday for, I'm gonna call it Horizon Park 4. Cotton Cove, which is the one, the case which is after this one and adjacent to this property. And we're gonna call it I call it Horizon Park Unit 4 sewer, off-site sewer. We're gonna go out to bid on those 4. It takes probably about 3 weeks for us to get the bids. And then we're looking at probably starting construction either late February or early March to start the grading is one of the first things that ended up happening. And then we come in with the wet utilities and then paving and grading. Paving and curb.
Yeah, and the Mesa Drain Road, which technically isn't a road, but it's been given that title because that's the only access that those landlocked residents have been able to use. That goes unpaved. Unfortunately, it belongs to the water district. We
Correct.
can't pave. You can put gravel on there, but it's going to be at the cost of the residents to do. My main concern is wastewater and gas. These residents will now have access.
Right, so wastewater is gonna go from Burt Road all the way through their property. And then working with the Lower Valley, we're doing a line parallel to Burt Road. That now these people are gonna be able to tie into a sanitary sewer line directly.
Okay,
The
good
gas, we're gonna come in and terminate at the property line, and then as people make requests, then
Texas
the
Gas
gas
can
company
tie 'em in.
comes in and starts tying them in, correct.
Okay, good. And then they'll be able to access off of Mesa Drain onto Burt Road now. They'll have that open.
Right, it's gonna be
Okay.
paved. It's gonna be fully paved in compliance to City of Socorro standards.
Is there any parks anywhere close to that area?
The only park that we have is we are doing one in Horizon Park Unit 1, which is...
Does it show in this map here? Or?
No, I think it's a little bit further to the north. I want to say to the north, on the other side of Burt Road. It's a subdivision that's under construction, same developer. And I think it's about a 1.5 acre park or 2-acre park that we're proposing on this one.
Reason why I'm saying this is right across the street from Mesa Drain, there's this like wannabe park,
Okay.
but it's not really a park, and I'd like to get rid of that piece and then have the residents be able to use that larger park, that 1.5 acre, I think you mentioned?
It's about 1.5 acres.
1.5 acre park. I think that'd be nice for those residents to be able to use now instead of the handball court that gets tagged on every week, the portable restrooms that are there, and then it's just not a pretty sight, you know? Okay, those were all my questions.
And we've coordinated with the adjacent property. I think I forgot the lady, Pettis. We've been coordinating, and I mean, they have no objection. They ended up leaving, just they understand the project, so.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. There was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Thanks. Moving on to agenda item number 30. This is the public hearing of an ordinance approving a final plat for Cottonwood Cove, Unit 2 subdivision being tract 10G1, 10H, 101, and 11B1, Block 3, Socorro Grant, and located at Ebert Road, Socorro, Texas. It's now 8:01 p.m. and the public hearing is now open.
No speakers, Mayor.
Thank you. As there are no speakers, we'll move on to agenda item 31. This is the second reading and adoption. I'm sorry. Did I already close the public comment? We're going to close public comment at 8:01. Agenda item 31 is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a final plat for Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision being tract 10G1, 10H, 101, and 11B1, Block 3, Socorro Grant, and located at Ebert Road, Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is your next item, Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision final plat. As stated previously, this is adjacent to the item that you just heard and voted on. This is tract 10, G1, 10H, 10I, and 11B1, Block 3, Socorro Grant, Bowling Brothers Development LLC. Their representative, Jorge Azcarate, is in the audience to answer any questions that you may have after the presentation. The property is 4.36 acres in size and zoned R2. The property is vacant, and in summary, the request is for approval of a final plat for the Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision. Planning and Zoning staff recommends approval of the request, and the Planning and Zoning Commission voted for approval, 2 yeses and 1 abstention at their December 2nd meeting. The property is located in between the Mesa Drain and Burt Road. It is zoned R2, medium density residential. The property is vacant and surrounded by various residential uses as well as some vacant property. These are photographs taken from Burt Road and from Cold Creek. This is a final plat for Cotton Cove Unit 2, and the ponding area that we were discussing is to the right of the street, in the middle of the plat. In summary, the request is for approval of a final plat for Cottonwood Cove Unit 2 subdivision. With that, staff can answer any questions, or if you have questions for the representative, he can answer them as well. Thank you.
Any questions from council on this one here? No, Ms. Camino, I noticed that on a lot of our recommendations from the Planning and Zoning Commission, there's always that one no, or abstain. Was it an abstain? Why do they have, is it a conflict of interest that they abstain?
Yes, they have a connection to the Bowling Brothers development.
Oh, okay, all right, very well. There was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Agenda item number 32, this is a public hearing of an ordinance approving a master plan resubmission Section 38-7.11, master plan changes for Horizon Park master plan being Horizon Park Unit 1, Horizon Unit 1 Replat A, Horizon Park Unit 1 Replat B, Horizon Park Unit 3, all of tracks 2, 3B, 3B-5, 4E-1A, 10-1, and J Block 3, Socorro, Grand Socorro, Texas. And public hearing is now open at 8:05 p.m.
No speakers, Mayor.
Thank you. As there are no speakers, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing at 8:05 p.m. Agenda item number 33. This is a second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a master plan resubmission, section 38-7.11, master plan changes for Horizon Park master plan being Horizon Park Unit 1, Horizon Unit 1 Replat A, Horizon Park Unit 1 Replat B, Horizon Park Unit 3, all of tracks 2, 3-B, 3-B-5, 4-E-1-A, 10-1, and J, Block 3, Socorro, Grand Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This next item is a master plan resubmission for the Horizon Park development. The property is off of Horizon Boulevard, and the property owner is Bowling Brothers Development Company, LLC, Fiesta Palms, LTD. Their representative, Jorge Escarate with CEA Group, is in attendance. The property in its entirety is 76.64 acres in size and zoned A1, R2, and C2. The current land use is residential, agricultural, and vacant. In summary, the request is for a approval of a resubmitted master plan. This resubmission adds the new subdivisions, Horizon Park Unit 3, Unit 4, to the overall master plan for the area. You approved the Horizon Park master plan at your January 25th, 2024 meeting. So this has been seen by City Council before. Planning and Zoning staff recommends approval of the request. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted for approval at their December 2nd meeting with 3 members present, 2 yeses, and 1 abstention. This is the location map showing the property off of Horizon Boulevard. The area is highlighted in blue. The aerial map shows the vacant land. And the next slide shows some photographs taken from BERT. The master plan shows the layout for the residential development, the commercial along Horizon Boulevard, the parks as mentioned. And in summary, the request is for approval of the resubmission of a master plan for Horizon Park. And with that, staff can answer any questions that you all may have.
Any questions from council on this one here? No?
Mayor, good evening, Council. Jim Martinez, City Attorney. Just FYI, I've informed council before. I try not to do it every time, but from time to time, I think it's prudent to tell you I happen to represent the owner, Bowling Brothers. From time to time, in various matters, I have not represented it in connection with any of these properties in your agenda today.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. There was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Quimito. Thank you. We're now moving on into the Grants Department with agenda item number 34. This is the discussion and action to ratify a letter of support for El Paso County's fiscal year 26 raise grant application for the Bob Hope Drive project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Alejandra Valadez, City Development Director. We are requesting your approval for a letter of support that we have provided to El Paso County for the Bob Hope Extension Project. This project will extend Bob Hope from Mission Ridge all the way to Joe Battle. The project is not in Socorro, but we do believe in supporting our neighboring communities as best as possible in the same way that they support our Socorro projects.
That's it.
That's all. That's all I have. Thank you.
I was waiting for the,
You were waiting for money?
for the
No,
kicker.
I'm not, we don't need money, but just your approval.
All right. Well, there was a motion and second on this item here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? And that motion carries. The next item is agenda item 35. This is the discussion and action to ratify a letter of support for the partnership between El Paso Community College, Socorro Independent School District, and Workforce Solutions Borderplex WSB and their application to the TWC Jobs and Education for Texas grant program, which will benefit local high school, career, and technical education students.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Your approval for this letter of support will help to provide support for the collaboration between El Paso Community College, Socorro Independent School District, and local industry for a dual credit pathway program for advanced manufacturing to support our growing manufacturing industry here locally. So this will be the development of a dual credit program that will start at the high school students' junior year and prepare them to go into higher paying manufacturing jobs upon graduation. There is no financial impact through this letter of support. It's just showing our support for this project.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments? No? There was a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Agenda item number 36, the discussion and action to update the ARPA spending framework for the city of Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We're requesting your approval on the updates described in our agenda item for our ARPA spending framework. As you recall, these funds were appropriated to the city of Socorro to support our recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. This time, we are bringing you a few changes to reduce funding to ARPA project GSPO 5 by $28,000, increase funding to ARPA project RCO 3 by $66,000, and increase ARPA project PZO 6 by $13,000. There is a net increase/decrease of $0, so we're balancing that budget that we have available to make sure that we maximize the use of those funds.
Any questions and comments for this one here? I know that the description of the funds being appropriated are given a numerical and alphabetical title. Can you just describe what those specific projects are?
Yes, so GSPO 5 is funding for the salary and wages of our Economic Recovery Coordinator, Mr. Jose Quiñones, who has done a lot of really good work in building up our small business community here in Socorro. We have now included his position as part of the Grants and Special Projects Department, so we no longer need ARPA funds for that project specifically. Project RCO 3 is for our Community Wellness Coordinator, who is also funds her salary. This change is going to increase funds available for that position so that we can keep her as part of our team through the end of December 2026. And lastly, ARPA project PZO9 is what we call our surface transportation project, and it involves some of the material that we need for street paving and some of our sidewalks projects as well. So that's gonna increase a little bit of funds so that we can make the most out of the ARPA funds that we do have available.
Very well, thanks. There was a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. The next agenda item is number 37. This is the discussion and action to approve Resolution 837, authorizing the submission of a grant application to TxDOT's off-system rail grade separation state fund program for the Union Pacific Railroad crossing at Horizon Boulevard east of Alameda. State Highway 20, El Paso County grade separation project. There is no match requirements for the city of Socorro.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We're requesting your approval for a resolution allowing us to submit the detailed application for this project. On May 2025, Senate Bill 155 authorized funds for an off-system rail grade separation fund program in the state of Texas. The 89th Texas State Legislature allocated $250 million to be made available to communities across Texas within the next 2 years, so that they can move forward with grade separation projects and reduce some of those traffic issues that we're finding at the railroad crossings. The city of Socorro did submit a preliminary application in November of 2025, and our project was selected to move forward to the detailed application phase. That application is now due on January 19th. At this time, we're requesting your approval showing support for the project. As you have heard, we have also deployed a survey to the community. In the past few days, we've received over 270 responses. 89% of the responses show support for the project and also provide comments on how that railroad crossing impacts their lives, and everything from law enforcement to emergency response, fire response, ambulance response is being affected by the lack of a bridge over the Horizon Boulevard Railroad crossing. So if this project is selected for funding, we're estimating to be awarded approximately $35 million for the project, and the impact to taxpayers would be $0.
Does anyone want to say no to that? I have one question. The 11% that may not have been in favor for this specific project, what were those comments?
The comments that we received were anything from, we shouldn't be spending money, our taxpayer dollars on the bridge, we should be spending it on animal control, we should be spending it on parks, we should be spending it on sidewalks. Some of the residents showed concern about us taking on debt to cover the cost of the project. A lot of it had to do with how much is this gonna cost. So I think once we communicate that the project is going to be 100% grant funded, will not impact taxpayers, I think that will be helpful to mitigate some of those questions. But we will make the survey responses available on our website, on the project site. After we close the survey, there's still time to fill it out. We're taking responses through the end of today so that we can compile those responses and submit them with the application.
And if I'm not mistaken, the description of the survey that the city has posted, I think it clearly states that it would be at zero cost to the residents.
Yes, we have a whole page on the project on our website, and we invite the community to go on there and look at some of the details, and we have our contact information there if there's further questions. But it does talk about the cost of the project and how we plan to fund it through this grant.
Very well. There was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Agenda item number 38, this is the discussion and action to approve supplemental number 7 to work authorization number 2 under contract 22-07-01 with Camacho Hernandez and Associates LLC for the Nuevo Hueco Tanks Road Extension Project, extending the termination date through October 20th of 2027 and authorizing the city manager or her designee to execute the supplemental agreement. There is no financial impact associated with this action.
Motion to approve.
There was a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We're requesting your approval for
We've
this.
already taken the vote, Alejandro.
Okay.
But you know
Thank
what?
you.
But-
I apologize.
No, I apologize because I jumped the gun and I didn't allow you to present the item. So at this time, are we allowed to present this item or the council has spoken?
You'd have to reconsider, you'd have to move to reconsider it, but nobody voted against it?
No?
Well, no, because everybody voted for it, so if one of you change, yeah, one of you can change it, one of the people, yes, you can move to reconsider it if you wish to do so. You don't have to.
I don't have much to say about it, other than,
Alejandra doesn't
Thank
have
you.
much to say.
Good.
Out of courtesy, I just wanted to throw it out there. So there was a motion and second and the council voted all in favor. So We'll be moving on to agenda item number 39, and you'll still be able to present this one. This is the discussion and action to approve supplemental to number 6 to work authorization number 3 under contract 22-07-01 with Camacho Hernandez and Associates, LLC, for the Sparks Arroyo Drainage Improvement Project, extending the termination date through November 15th of 2027 and authorizing the city manager or her designee to execute the supplemental agreement. There's no financial impact associated with this action.
Motion to approve.
So, thank you. This is the Sparks Arroyo project. As you know, it is ongoing. This project is very important to improving stormwater control, drainage, and flood prevention around the Sparks Arroyo area, which does include a lot of neighborhoods. Because the project is already in development, we are getting ready to go into the construction phase in the next year. It is important that we extend our contract with our engineer to be able to deliver the project as best as possible within the extended time frame. There is no additional funds that are requested. It's just a time extension.
There was a motion and second. And does council have any questions, comments on this item? There was a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Agenda item number 40. This is the discussion and action to approve supplementals to work authorizations under contract 22-07-02 with CA Engineering Group, extending their effective dates through September 30th, 2027, and authorizing the city manager or her designee to execute the supplemental agreements for the following projects. Supplemental to work authorization number 2 for the Arterial 1 project. Supplemental to work authorization number 4 for the Paso del Norte Trail project. Supplemental to work authorization number 5 for the Vineyard Road Bridge Replacement project. And supplemental to work authorization number 6 for the Passmore Road Bridge Replacement project. There's no financial impact from this action.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We are requesting your approval for those supplementals listed. That would be for the Arterial 1 project, the Paso Norte Trail project for contract administration, the Vineyard Bridge Replacement project, and the Passmore Bridge Replacement project. Again, same as with our previous item, all of these engineering projects are in development and they're pretty far along. So we'd love to get the opportunity to extend the engineering contract so that the projects can be brought to full completion and delivery, and we bring those projects to the community. There's no financial increase, there's no impact, we're just requesting the time extension.
Any questions? There was a motion and second on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. We'll be moving on to our city manager with agenda item number 41. This is the discussion and action to approve award to Terralogic for digitization of planning and zoning records and purchase of document management software in the amount of $34,195.76.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is requesting approval to award Terralogic for digitizing of planning and zoning department records. This request includes two components, digitizing of records and document management software. The purpose of this project is to help the planning and zoning department modernize how records are stored and accessed by converting physical files into a secure digital format. This will improve organization, allow quicker retrieval of records, strengthen document retention practices, and improve accessibility. Terralogic is an approved vendor through the Texas Buy Board Cooperative, which is meeting the procurement process. This purchase was budgeted for this fiscal year. And staff is available to answer any questions.
Does council have any questions on this item here? No? I'm just glad that it's already happening, because it's very long overdue. Okay, there was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Agenda item number 42. This is the discussion and action to authorize staff to initiate discussions regarding franchise agreements and utility service options.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is this an item that council wishes to discuss in executive, or is this one that has to be discussed in open forum, Mr. Martinez?
Sorry, Mayor, Mr. President. I would let, you can, if you want to consult your attorneys, we can go into executive session, but I would let your staff present it first, and then maybe you can, that will help you determine if you have any questions for me.
So good evening, Mayor and Council. This item before you is authorizing city staff to initiate conversations with utility and service providers operating within the city regarding potential franchise agreements and to also explore services delivery options for solid waste services. As council, you're aware that the city currently maintains franchise agreements with certain utility providers in an effort to promote consistency, transparency, and responsible management of city's right-of-way infrastructure. Staff is requesting authorization to begin preliminary discussions with other utility companies to determine whether franchise agreements may be appropriate moving forward. In addition, staff is seeking direction to explore options related to solid waste services. This includes evaluating the possibility of a franchise-style service agreement with potential providers and the feasibility of establishing a city-operated solid waste department. As part of this evaluation, staff would review the operational, legal, and financial consideration to determine what approach would best serve the city. I would like to emphasize that no agreements and no service changes are being approved tonight. This agenda item is intended only to allow staff to begin discussions, gather information, evaluate options, and return to Mayor and Council with findings and recommendations for future consideration. Any proposed franchise agreements, fee structures, or solid waste recommendations would be brought back to Council for review and approval at a later date. So staff is just requesting approval so we can start those conversations, and staff is here to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? No? Okay, there was a motion and second on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Agenda item number 43, this is the discussion and action to approve the use of city office space by the Socorro Veterans Group.
Motion to approve.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is requesting approval to allow the Socorro Veterans Group to use city-owned office space on occasional basis for administrative work and for the storage of merchandise related to their activities. The Socorro Veterans Group has requested access to a small office space so they can conduct organizational work. After reviewing available city facilities, staff has identified a suitable office that was previously used by animal control prior to their relationship to the police department. Their relocation, not relationship. Relocation to PD. So we believe that is a good office space for them, and we're asking for your approval for that. And staff is here to answer any questions.
Any discussion on this item here?
Which office would that be, Ms. Rodarte? Would it be the one next door?
No, right here where IT is at?
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Ah, okay.
Same. That's where animal control used to be housed, and then they relocated to PD.
Oh,
So right now, that office is empty.
okay.
Does, is it furnished already, or do we have some furniture that we can,
So it's furnished. I think there's 2 desks in there. Do you know?
Chief Rojas, so if there's not, we can provide, we have some at the police department that we can provide over if we need to.
some
Because
pallet-
I believe they did take some, I just don't know exactly what they took.
some pallets and some milk cartons,
Folding chairs.
the folding chairs? Yeah, no, so there was a motion and second on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. The next item is agenda item number 44, the discussion and action to reappoint Chief of Police Robert C. Rojas to the El Paso County 911 District Board of Managers.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Correct, so this motion, he currently serves at the 911 District Board. All we're asking is to reappoint him since his term expired in December.
Is there any discussion? No, there was a motion and second on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries.
Thank you.
We've already discussed the following 2 items, so we're going to be moving on to agenda item 47, Mayor and Council. This is the discussion and action regarding the city manager's annual performance evaluation and consideration of annual discretionary bonus. Go ahead, Mr. Martinez. what if the council has given the subject a directive to take their evaluation into executive? If the council has given a directive of the subject receiving the evaluation to rather take this one into executive?
I would say it's not really a matter of instruction, it's still up to the individual. It's still up to
Okay.
the person who's the subject. If the city manager requests it, it needs to be done in open session. If she doesn't, then it needs to be done in closed session.
Okay. Ms. Huerta, I know that in the years that I've served, you've always asked for your evaluation to be open and in the public. Is that something that you want to continue doing?
For transparency, I believe like it should be an open session.
Very well.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with a 10% bonus, paid immediately.
Second.
The evaluations, did anyone want to discuss their evaluation with Ms. Ruarte? Or did they have any comments that they'd like to make during the meeting today?
Keep up the good work.
In my evaluation, I said she was a heart of Socorro, and I think she proved that today with her being accepted to a state award. And she's been here longer than any of us, so she's been through the thick and thin, and we appreciate your work here at Socorro.
Any other comments or that you'd like to address today, or would you like to keep them as stated in the evaluation?
Just to add, and to keep up the good work with all your staff and everything, and the communication open and transparency. Very good.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other discussion? No?
Mayor might want to say something.
No, I've provided my evaluation. And you guys are more than welcome to review my evaluation. Our city clerk has copies of all that, so you guys can.
Part of your backup. Mayor.
And it also is part of the backup. You can see all my comments that I've put there and the grading that I've given her. So there was a motion on the table for the consideration, or actually a 10% bonus. And does the bonus have to be specific, Jim, as far as the percentage? And then you said to be paid effective immediately?
Effective immediately. The only thing I'd say, I wish we could give you a pay raise, but that's a longer and more expensive. And one-time bonus is, I hope, is good enough for you.
Very well. Any other discussion?
No, sir.
No, there was a motion and second on the table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mayor, you do vote on this item by the charter.
So I've also voted in agreement with my colleagues on the table. So for the record, this agenda item does pass unanimously. Okay. See, all right. Moving on to the following agenda items. Are there any items for discussion for 48, 49, 50, 51?
51, Mayor.
At this time, given the fact that, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and have our staff present item 51.
Okay, so let's take care of 48 and 49 and 50. What item are we discussing, 51? Well, we're going into executive for that one? So we need to delete the items prior to that, so I'm gonna need a motion.
Motion to delete items 48, 49, and 50.
Second.
There's been a motion and second to delete items 48, 49, and 50 from the agenda. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. I'm gonna need a motion to go into executive.
Motion to go to executive. Second.
There's been a motion and second to enter into executive at this time. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's now 8:34 PM, and we're now entering into the executive session. Welcome back to the January 15, 2026 Socorro City Council meeting. We're now back in regular session from executive. After discussion, would any council members like to make a motion?
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and second by council. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. Would anyone like to entertain a motion to,
Motion to adjourn.
there's been a motion and second to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Our meeting adjourns at 9:12 p.m.